Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. Yeah, it's been a while. I haven't had time to make videos recently, but I watched a live stream on Chance's channel last night, and man, when they were trashing the AC/DC Back in Black, I thought, hey, let's do a video about my Australian AC/DC pressings. I'm not an expert on whatever pressing in the world have whatever song listing and track listing, etc. But I tried to compile a little bit of the differences between the Australian and international pressings. The Australian pressings are all on a label called Albert Productions. They used to have a dark black, dark bluish label with yellowish lettering, white lettering, until I think the Back in Black album. Then I switched to a red label. And during the initial period, when you did get a red label, that typically were second, third pressings. So the dark pressings are typically first pressings. And let's start with the first one, High Voltage, released February 1975 on Albert Productions. And the catalog number is APLP009. I do have a beautiful pressing on the darker label. I love this cover. It looks really cool. Internationally, under High Voltage, we all know this cover, iconic lightning bolt cover with Angus on it. It is quite different than the original 1975, this international release, and I'll get to it in a second. But yeah, next, and then I do have, unfortunately, a second or third pressing on the red label that I need to get rid of. Next up on the Australian pressing list is TNT. There is no international pressing with the name TNT. This was released December 1975, Albert Production 0016. Again, another beautiful Albert Production label. However, this one actually has most of the songs on song listings on the High Voltage. So this is almost identical. I think like 8 songs are identical on both records. But yeah, TNT, obviously one of their most famous songs. Next up, Dirty Deeds, one of my favorite labels or covers of AC/DC. Bon Scott and Angus in a drawing on the cover. Beautiful. Released in September 1976, APLP 020. Another beautiful label here. You all may know the international cover of Dirty Deeds. I think this is kind of lame if you compare it to this one, but you be the judge. So yeah, Dirty Deeds. Up next is Let There Be Rock. And I think this is a very, very cool cover, the black cover with the white grayish guitar neck on it. Again, beautiful Albert Productions. This was released in March of 1977, APLP022. Yeah, you'll be the judge on which one is the nicer version of it. Powerage. This one is identical cover with the international cover. I am, again, lucky enough to have it on a beautiful Albert Production label. I was digging with my daughter in Vancouver, BC, while on a soccer trip, one of my son's soccer trips. And there was a tiny little record store in a rundown little mall. She went through and said, "Oh, Dad, check this out." And these are 150 Canadian dollars. I bought a few more records, so it came down to 120, which is, I would think, like $90 US. Yeah, she found it for me. That was one of the very few ones I had left in my collection. So that one was released June 1978, APLP 030. What's maybe worth mention is the European version. One of the European versions had a song called Cold Hearted Man, which, to my knowledge, hasn't really been released on another album. This is from, I believe, a box set or not. It's a single. This one did not come on the dark Albert Production label, but yeah, I'm okay with having the red Albert Production label as well. This is not one that you see very often. Up next, If You Want Blood, You Got It. Nothing really special about this one. It was released 1978 in October, APLP 034. And again, the beautiful label. Love that one. And then you all know the International released Highway to Hell, but the Albert Production is just cool. This one is a fantastic looking label when they come out of the hell burning. I don't know why the International cover has changed, but boy, this is so much cooler than the International cover. And again, the dark Albert Production label. Loving it, loving it. All right. Up next is, and here's the, again, that's the Highway to Hell that you all know. Up next, Back in Black. Nothing really special about Back in Black, besides that it's obviously the first one with Brian Johnson as the frontman. This was released 1980, July 1980. APLP 046, and as I mentioned, this is when Albert Production switched over to the red label. And yeah, since I collect all the Australian versions, I didn't stop, just because of the label color. Then, and maybe it's worth mentioning, all of the Australian covers are really flimsy compared to the international releases, the stronger cardboard. It changed later on, but yeah. So this is, for those about to rock, we salute you. Again, red label now since they switched it. APLP 053. For all you nerds out there. Next one is Flick of the Switch, was released in August 1983. APLP 061. I think that's when the international and Australian releases were timed at the same time. Still a red Albert Production label, but doesn't have the nice little rim, ring around the rim. Yeah, but once you start collecting them, and you just got to complete it, right? So yeah, Flick of the Switch. I like this album. Not everybody likes it, but I think it's a great album. Fly on the Wall. Maybe not everybody's favorite album, but hey, Albert Productions. Fly on the Wall came out June 1985. The number is APLP 066. Then comes, I really like this Blow Up Your Video. Blow Up Your Video from 1988. APLP, now different numbers, 431072. So the numbers have gotten longer. Not sure what the reason behind it is. Yeah, now the boring standard Albert Production label. You can see that. I don't want to take it out of the sleeve. But I really like Blow Up Your Video. Who Made Who? Who Made Who was released in May of 1986. APLP 431068. Again, the boring or more boring Albert Production, that label. And then maybe one that is absolutely not common. It is a sampler called Albert Archives. And on this Albert Archives label, Albert Archives sampler, we have the first AC/DC song released on vinyl pre-Bon Scott. And the singer back then was Dave Evans. The song on this album is Rockin' in the Parlor. It's a real bluesy street rock and roll kind of song. But yeah, since I collect the AC/DC Albert Productions, I was really happy to find this at a record fair on the cool Albert Production label. This is one you do not come across very often. Recorded very early, but not released until 1979. Yeah, let me know in the comments how you like my AC/DC Albert Production video. Do you like AC/DC Albert Production pressings? Do you actually collect them? Yeah, let me know. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a good day. Bye.